All right, bro. So it's officially been 2 months since I had any alcohol. All right, not a single drop. Basically, all summer I have been abstaining from drinking alcohol. I did mess up. First month in, I had one beer, but it was a really lightweight beer, so basically like water, right? It basically doesn't count, but full disclosure, I did mess up. About a month in, I had one beer. But besides that, all summer, so basically from June until now, I have been abstaining from alcohol. And I really wanted to just experiment with this and see what would happen, right? Because there were a lot of goals that I wanted to hit, and I wasn't really making the progress that I wanted to make, right? So if you're someone who right now you've got things that you want in life, and it doesn't seem like you're moving fast enough, you don't seem like you're making enough progress, this might actually help you out. So for me, I wanted to experiment with this, cut out alcohol, and see if it made a difference in my performance. You hear a lot of people talking about how negative it is, right, in terms of the health effects and how negative it is in terms of your mental performance and just really everything. Because essentially it's like a toxin. And so for me, I had goals that I wanted to hit, right? I wanted my YouTube channel monetized. I wanted to finish up the cut, right, for my physique over the summer. I was in a cut, as some of you know. And I was just finding it difficult to do these things while drinking consistently because I would be drinking and I'd wake up the next day. I would just feel out of it. I just feel cloudy, just not even like hungover really, because I wasn't getting drunk, but even just like getting buzzed the next day, I was just out of it. And on top of that, I would find myself doing like falling back more into bad habits, eating junk food, just not staying focused. Like I was easily distracted on social media, and I realized over time that the center of this could be the fact that I'm drinking so much alcohol or I'm doing it on a regular basis. And so I wanted to experiment and see that if this would help. So my experience basically so far has been, I've been drinking alcohol since, I turned 21, and even before then I would drink alcohol. I've never been a heavy drinker, but it's always been kind of in the background, right? I've never been someone to be like, no, I'm not drinking, or no, I'm not a drinker. So for me, this was a new experiment. And what I found was that it really made a huge difference in terms of the amount of focus I had every single day. So typically, when I drink alcohol, I might drink a beer, I might have like a few glasses of wine, and then the next day, like I said, I feel a bit foggy, right? And for me, what I found was it made a huge difference in terms of the clarity that I would have in terms of when I would wake up in the morning and just throughout my day. Like I wouldn't have that brain fog experience. So from June until now, I have essentially been off of alcohol, and it's definitely been difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first month that I did this, it was definitely difficult because you're still going out to eat. You're still going out to eat. You're still interacting with people, and so you tend to kind of fall back into your old habits or your old mindset of, oh yeah, let me just grab a drink. Like everyone's together. Oh yeah, let me just grab a drink. And that first month, like I said, I did mess up, and it was like a social occasion, and I ended up drinking. I only had one beer. But the interesting thing about it is that when you cut it out, your brain essentially has to find another source of dopamine, right? Because when you're doing all these bad habits, alcohol, weed, porn, smoking, video games, your brain is getting quick and easy dopamine. And so if you have hard things that you want to do, like let's say going to the gym, you're on a cut, so you have to make sure you're eating within a certain, diet, or you're trying to build your business or trying to level up in your career, it's going to make it more difficult because your brain is getting that dopamine hit from easy sources and quick sources like I said, like alcohol, weed, those kind of things. Any of those addictive substances, your brain is getting the dopamine from there instead of the hard thing that you need to do. And what I found was that when I cut that out, all that was left for me to really focus on or get any sort of dopamine hit from was the hard things, right? And so a lot of people call this a dopamine detox. But for me, like the whole idea of like doing a quote unquote detox temporarily is not something that I really want to do. For me, it's just like a lifestyle. It's like a way of living where you just orient your life depending on what goals you have to make sure that your brain is literally focused on what you need to do. So the results of this for me was my YouTube channel. I wanted to get it monetized, and I noticed that it was making it more difficult for me to think, and actually my mental clarity was worse when I was drinking. So what I did, cut it out, and essentially, I was able to get monetized within, I think it was June or July. So it wasn't that long after quitting that I was actually able to get my YouTube channel monetized. Now, I'm not saying that that is the reason why it happened. I'm just saying that is a contributing factor because I was actually able to focus better, and I wasn't so like I wasn't dealing with that brain fog and sort of any like hangover symptoms or just it being a toxin being in your body, because the thing is alcohol is basically a toxin, right? So when it's in your body's trying to process it and get it out, and that's requiring a lot of resources. So you get that brain fog because a lot of resources in your body are being used to try to deal with the toxin that's in your body. So yeah, I basically learned about all these different things about alcohol and the different effects it had, and I was like, all right, let me just give this a shot. And so far, I'm really glad that I did. I would really recommend that if you have certain goals that you're trying to hit and you're in that sort of building phase of like you need to get shit done, and it's not like party time or it's not like time to just chill, that you might consider cutting it out because it really pushes you to the max, right? The other thing I want to mention is how, alcohol and a lot of these other addictive substances, they're essentially a numbing agent, right? It's something that keeps you numb from feeling your pain. So you might feel pain right now about the fact that, you're overweight. Okay. Well, if you're drinking a lot of alcohol or other like doing weed and stuff like that, what it does is it eases that pain so that it's not so strong. It doesn't feel so bad, which in the moment is good, right? If that feels good in the moment, but what it does is it makes it so that you don't feel as agitated and you don't feel as upset, which means you're not going to take as much action. You're not going to move as quickly. So I knew this and I decided, okay, I'm going to cut out the things that I could be getting a quick dopamine hit from. And I cut out alcohol. I went cold turkey on it. For me, I'm an extreme type of person, a more extreme type of person. So I don't like to do the thing where it's like you kind of tiptoe in. I'm the guy that like runs in, like at the beach, like if it's cold or like in the ocean, I'm the guy that just like runs in and just like dives in. I don't like to do like the tiptoe thing into the water. So for me, I just completely cut out alcohol. Obviously, we all have mistakes. I did mess up, but I got back on track and I didn't mess up again after that. One thing I can say that helped me, like if you're trying to do this, if you're thinking about cutting out alcohol for a time, is give yourself a time frame. So for me, it was 3 months. I wanted to try 3 months over the summer. I'm not going to do it. The summer is actually a really difficult time. I don't know why I picked that time. It just happened to be. I think I came across the information and just like the things that were going on in my life. I decided, this is the time. This is the time to do it. I know summer, everybody's out drinking, partying, but like I'm in that building phase, right? I'm in that phase of trying to accomplish my goals. So I need to take action on things and do things that other people aren't willing to do to get things that other people don't have. So for me, it made sense. So I went for it. Really glad I did it. And a couple things that helped me is like if you're still going out and you're around people, just don't tell people like, oh, I'm trying not to drink, right? You need to be decisive about this shit. So be like, I'm not drinking, or I don't drink, right? Just be like, yeah, I don't drink alcohol. And like no one, like if you're around like the right people, they're not gonna be like, oh, what, you don't drink alcohol, what? They'll just be like, oh, okay. So that's the one thing is keep it, because your mindset is huge in this, right? So make sure you identify as someone who doesn't drink. I don't drink, right? The other thing is, uh, it'll keep you from hanging around crowds of people who you probably shouldn't be hanging around anyways, right? It'll keep you being away from people who are constantly drinking or binge drinking, just like parties and stuff that you don't need to be going to that you're wasting your time at anyways. And yeah, so there's so many great benefits to it. Another thing that helped me was if you're still going out to eat, right? You're going to be going out to eat and I assume you're going to still go out to eat in restaurants and stuff. It's pretty normal for you to just get a drink. At least it was for me, right? Pretty normal for me to go out, get a drink with my meal. And so I kind of would default into that. So in the beginning, one thing that you can do is you can order a quote unquote drink, right? But just make sure that it's a virgin drink. Make sure that it doesn't have any alcohol in it. So it still has the same sort of taste, but yeah, obviously it's going to taste a little bit different because there's no alcohol in it. But you're not going to get like that same buzz or anything because there's no alcohol in it. So you could get a virgin pina colada or a virgin margarita. And that way it kind of tricks your brain into thinking, oh, like we're still kind of getting a drink, but you know that it's not, there's no alcohol in it. So there's no negative health effects. So yeah, I really would recommend that. Uh, for me, the results of it were just simply waking up, actually being clear headed and clear about the day. I wasn't feeling foggy and like tired and shit. Definitely felt more energy because I probably wasn't constantly, you know, putting toxins into my body. I was able to get much better sleep because well, when you drink at night, that obviously is going to ruin your sleep because you're putting a toxin into your body before falling asleep. So much better sleep, much more clarity, coming up with better ideas, much more driven and ambitious on achieving my goals. And in terms of fitness, if you're trying to do anything to do with fitness, bro, like a cut, dude, you cannot be drinking a lot of alcohol. It totally ruins your progress. I mean, the amount of calories, like there's a lot of calories in alcohol that you don't think of, right? There's a lot of calories that are in there that you haven't even considered. And a lot of times if you get buzzed, you're going to have one drink, two drink, three drink, four drink to the point where, you're essentially like, what is that? Like 400 or 500 calories, maybe even more depending on the drink that you have. So it's just not worth it, when you're trying to do health related goals. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm not going to drink again. I'm not saying that I'm never going to drink again. I'll probably have a drink soon. Uh, there's no like thing where I'm saying don't drink or like you're a horrible person if you drink. I'm not trying to say anything like that. I'm just trying to say my experience so far has been if you're in a phase of really wanting to get serious about building and really get serious about achieving a goal, cutting out addictive substances, especially alcohol, is going to be key for you to really push that extra mile because like I said, it's going to really force your brain to focus on getting dopamine from the places you want it to, which is the hard things that you need to do or what your brain thinks is hard, right? But if you give your brain an easy out and it's like, oh yeah, let's just go drink, let's get buzzed tonight instead of me going and doing the work I need to do on my business or, going to the gym, then it's just going to make the whole process difficult. Obviously, with any fitness goals you have, it's also going to make it way more difficult. So just consider it, bro. It might really help you. And I know for me, it's been really the first time that I've completely intentionally cut out alcohol, and it's definitely an important thing to do. I think taking it in more of like a sort of cyclical approach is probably a great idea to start, where it's like you give yourself a time block where it's no alcohol, and then after that, maybe you ease back into it and have a bit. I mean, for me, I like not really drinking alcohol at this point. So I probably, if I'm going to drink in the future, I'll just have like a few drinks on a night out. And I'm not going to just be like drinking at home or like bringing home like alcohol because it was getting to the point where it was getting a little bit ridiculous. Like I would be drinking every other night or, a few times a week. Like even that, it's just like, man, it really does impede your progress. It really impedes your progress in so many areas of your life. So yeah, just really consider doing this. My experience has been nothing but positive, like positivity. It just really helps you stay away from the people you shouldn't be around. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to mention too is like if you're in a position right now where you're trying to start up a business or something, you can save a lot of fucking money, dude. You can save a lot of money from cutting out alcohol. I checked my bank statements, or not my bank statements, my credit card statements, and I was pretty astonished to see how much money I was spending on alcohol. If you've got a credit card right now, or even your bank statements, go in there and add up over the past year, over the past month, 3 months, what you spend on alcohol if you're a regular drinker. You're gonna be pretty fucking astonished, bro. You're gonna be pretty astonished. So, yeah, consider taking a break for a period of time and getting rid of the coping mechanism so that you can actually feel the pain enough to take action and do what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, doing these things and continuing with these substances is really going to essentially just keep you where you are. So if you're not happy with where you are and you're drinking a lot of people will say, oh, I need to drink in order to not go crazy at my job, or because I feel so upset about some situation. But the problem with that is that it's keeping you from dealing with that situation, right? It's keeping you from getting out of that job you need to get out of because it makes you feel just good enough to ease the pain back where it's tolerable. You know what I mean? So that's been my experience with it so far. Moving forward, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And like I said, that doesn't mean like if you're someone who doesn't want to try this, I think you're a bad person, or that you know I'm never gonna drink again. But it definitely is a great thing to try, and especially too to get like the mastery of it as well. I realized that there's an element to it that is really addictive. So if you get to the point of being able to say no and actually control your mind and your body to not drink, it's actually really powerful because at any point in time, you can tell yourself, no, I'm not going to be drinking right now. We are in like a focused mode. We are in the mode of trying to achieve a greater life for ourselves, and we're going to cut that out. So if you can have that ability to really control your mind and control your body, I think it's a great ability to have, and I think that it's totally worth doing. So yeah, those are all my reasons. That's my experience. It's been about 3 months, minus that 1 month I messed up with one drink. But totally, like if you counted all the days up that I haven't been drinking, it's probably, I would say, about 3 months. So yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, so I just wanted to share this experience. Hopefully you found it helpful. And if you want any more help with this, check out the links in the description. We got the Discord group. You can hop in there and talk about it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, bro. Have a great day.